Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year, so help me out there guys. And the last video of the day, as always, when the dev server is open, I try to do this in the last video of the day, the Datamines. So yeah, a lot of things have been found, so let's just get into it. Very cool stuff, right? So, Part 1, we're going to cover Part 1 and Part 2. Thank you, Oshida, for actually doing this, and Zabi as well. I will leave these in the description for you to go there on the Reddit post. So yeah, let's go. New explosion impact patches for bombs. Pretty cool. Always nice to have better stuff like this, you know. So yeah. Impact path angle limits. I don't know exactly what this means. It means like if it's like more than 5 degrees now, it bounces, and before it was 1, or is it the other way around? But a change in the heat and APFSTS on that part. New steam effect for overheating tank engines. So if you don't know, if you get a radiator damaged, you can get an overheating engine on the tanks, and that will lead to a degrading effect of the engine until the seas, if I'm not mistaken, depending on the situation. So yeah, very, very cool. So a new effect of that. This is kind of hard to test it out right now because it's late at night and no of my friends are online, but still. Game parameters changes, load net effectiveness. Okay, so, I don't know what exactly this is. New G-load control parameter. Really don't know what this means. Chef line of sight. I kind of don't know what this is, so I will pass it over. If you know, leave it in the comments. Shooting tanks in the hangar, change it. Yeah, they're changing for the newer tanks that were added. Moving tanks on the hangar as well, changing for more modern, newer added tanks. The aircraft as well that fly over the hangar or are in the hangar. So for example, fly aircraft in the hangar, change it from the tram to the F-14, from the MiG-29 for the Su-25. So yeah, very cool. Advertised premiums in the hangar background. Obviously, they will advertise different aircraft and tanks. So for now, these are the ones. For example, removing the BMK to add the Su-39 and so on. Israel A4E late removed. Sound changes. Tank engines. New crew voices. Okay. Yeah. I noticed that I don't know if it was but still, I thought it was kind of louder right now. Like from an aircraft especially, you can hear the tank engine from a very far away distance. New damage, and it feels more than 400 meters. New damage type overheating for the tanks, right? Aircraft changes. So 2 new additions. So the GL832HY, that is this thing over here. That it is in the files to be used as the naval aircraft for the French ships. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but yeah. The PBY that I showed to you guys as well, it is now the new French Catalina. Nothing too crazy. I already showed that in the other video, so go check it out. A1H got a little bit of a max load increase over here. Dropped tank added to the model of the Zero, but it's non-functional right now, so it might be added. Some bombs can be dropped individually right now in the A10 and A7. The newer NVDs have been added to the A10A late. So for example, it's Gen 2.5 now. The resolution is severely increased, as you see. Now it's full HD. Light multiplier as well, it's a little bit lighter, just in the sense of having more light. And noise factor decreased as well, so it will be less grainy. So yeah, very cool. AJ37, I would imagine that they are meaning the AJS and the normal AJ. Added CCRP for bombs, makes sense. Very cool addition. Etendard, new custom loadouts for you to use. Of course, they added the custom loadouts for it. More bombs being dropped separately in the F1 and T2s. F-4's added ejection seats and new loadout. 1 drop tank. I actually didn't see this. Let's go to the game real quick. Let's see this. I actually didn't notice that. Oh, it's not there yet. But It is coming. So the F-4s will probably get a drop tank, which is very, very cool, right? F-4C drop tank, very, very cool. Bombs separately dropped as well. They're adding these for a lot of bombs. Ejection seat, drop tank for the F-4E. Israeli drop tanks as well, as you see, being added. The same thing about dropping bombs separately. Same thing for the Kurnas 2000. Same thing for the F-4EJ. So ejection seat, the bombs being dropped separately, and drop tanks. EJ Kai, same thing. So they're adding basically drop tanks for all the F-4s and adding ejection seats for all the F-4s, and also adding the bombing drop being separately as well in all the F-4s. So very, very cool. This is a major change for the F-4s. I think it's very, very cool to see this. As you see, same changes for all these F-4s, basically all of them. So yeah, very, very cool, guys. F-8E custom loadout changes dropped separately as well. F-8. Here it's an interesting change. F-14A wing aerodynamics changed, so the flight model of it have been changed a little bit. I don't know yet what exactly it is, but still. But then the afterburner. So the afterburner was actually nerfed in certain conditions and buffed in certain conditions. So between 1,400 and 2,400 kilometers per hour at sea level, it lowered the afterburner thrust. But I mean, you already are flying pretty fast if you are at sea level at 1,400 kilometers per hour. It's already very fast, so you're probably gonna just not gonna pass too much beyond that anyway. So it doesn't change too much. Increase at 1,600 kilometers per hour at 3 kilometers of altitude. Increase between 2,200 and 2,400 at 6 kilometers. So a buff, just a buff over here, depending on the altitude. And then, of course, you're never going to fly at these speeds, at these altitudes. This one, yes, but probably this, never. 9 kilometers, a nerf beyond 2,200 kilometers per hour as well. So, I mean, if you're really fast, yes, I guess. And then another buff over here. So it's overall a buff, I think, for the F-14A. Just a more increase in power. Aerodynamics changes for the B as well. I think this is just a decrease in fuel consumption, if I'm not mistaken. So interesting. Has a point of interest in memory. I think this is to use with the guided bombs. FOV, better FOVs and stuff. I think this was the main problem that maybe caused the TWS to not work properly. And yeah, they added the lantern apparently as stock, I think. I don't know. But yeah, there are some confirmations kind of that the F-14B will also receive drop tanks as well. So very, very good. F-16s, an increase in the wing area. Normally in the inner wing area and the outer wing area got decreased. No, how these affect the flight model itself, but it does probably affect it a little bit. So F-100s, these were very interesting. They changed some of the things. So let's take a look. Rudder power loss, okay, so reduced rudder power loss, so that's good, depending on the speed probably, so you are probably able to use the rudder better at maximum speeds, I think. Added a fly-by-wire preset, kind of weird. Tail aerodynamic changes, okay, engine mass increased by like 60 kilograms. Afterburner boost, so more afterburner, I think. Engine RPM decreased. This doesn't change too much on the sense of producing power or anything like that. So yeah, thrust and torque coefficient, all speeds increased at these speeds, at these altitudes. So major buff, to be honest, to the F-400. A decrease in this minor thing over here, but overall it's just a very big buff, to be honest. Depending on the situation, if you're flying higher, it's producing a little bit less thrust, depending on the situation, and increasing, I mean, it depends. So for example here, at 10 kilometers, from 0 kilometers per hour, it's actually increased. From 200 to 1,000, it's lowered. And beyond 1,200, it's increased. So if you're flying between these speeds, it's nerfed. If it's above these speeds at these altitudes, it's buffed. So it depends, right? But overall, it's a buff, if I'm not mistaken, over here. It has some changes that might decrease the power in certain situations, but overall, it is a buff. Yeah, as you see, afterburner thrust coefficient at all altitudes and speeds increase it. Thrust multiplier on afterburner decrease it. Empty mast increase it a little bit. It's probably due to the extra weight of the engine. Okay, new instructor, SAS changes, new loadouts with snake eyes, very cool. F-400D, basically the same changes that we saw on the other ones, but accordingly. So overall, you will feel that the F-100 is buffed on its performance, at least on the engine, right? Snake eyes for the F-104Gs, snake eyes for the F-104Ss, for the S, I mean. Harrier 7, F1, Gunner, NVD, just better NVD, just like the A10. IL2s, custom loadout changes, not going to mention too much about this, too long, but yeah, you can pause it to take a look on the IL2. J8B, custom loadout changes, so some changes to the bombs that use it. Pretty cool. J8F, new cockpit, I already showed to you guys. It has a very incredible cockpit. I will show, just let me take a look on this. So these are the big changes. So they removed the PL11, they added the 6 PL8s for the J8F, and they added the 1492. It is still a copy-paste, as you see, but the 1492, man, it's a very, very respectable radar. It supposedly have like around 100 kilometers of range, 80 kilometers of track, and it can even, in theory, fire 2 missiles at 2 different targets being semi-active, and 4 targets to an active missile for 4 different missiles, right? So it is a very, very powerful radar. It's a early 2000s radar. You know, it's a very, very modern radar. So let me just show to you the new cockpit and these changes. So as you see over here, for example, we have the 6 PL8s. So it will help, but it got the PL11 removed. So you, for now, don't have a BVR weapon on the J8F. It will get the PL12 in the future, but still not for now. And the radar became the 1492, but you can say that it's not ready yet. 45 kilometers of range. I mean, come on, let's just show to you guys the cockpit. I already showed it on the other video, but it's such a cool cockpit that I wanted to show to you guys. So yeah, very modern, as you see. It is just, of course, it has its way of being kind of old as well on the down part there, bottom part. But overall, it's just very, very modern. Let's take a look. No, we don't have any other modes on that. So this is a repeater for the HUD. If you lose the HUD, you can have that, or in a low visibility or high sun, basically, condition, or high luminosity or something like that. High light, basically. You can use that. And also we have the radar screen over there. So yeah, very cool. Right now it feels like a Zuck radar, so I don't know, but a little bit different. Hopefully it gets fixed if it needs fixing. So yeah, bomb separately for the Jaguars, Kafir Canards bomb separately, Canard, the C2 and the Canard. Paratroop model, yeah, some minor changes over here. MiG-23BN added the ejection seat and added the drop tank, very cool. Custom loadouts with the drop tanks is obviously would be a big change over here. MiG-23M, same thing, I already showed to you guys. You can actually choose between the flares and the drop tank in these aircraft. So very interesting choice, actually. Added an ejection seat as well. And of course, all of these changes are added due to those new different changes on the chaff and drop tank additions, right? The MF is basically the same. Let's go for the next one, the part 2. So ML, basically the same. You can choose between the drop tank and the flare and chaff. I will show very quickly to you. But yeah, all of these aircraft are just having that added. So I would just pass it over. MiG-27s as well, you know. So let's just show to you guys real quickly. So the MLD, for example, you can take the drop tank down there, as you see. But you can change it for, you can see right here, 60 countermeasures. You can change it for 72 and add 2 extra ones, large caliber ones. And then it's done. You have the flare pod down there. Pretty cool. Mirage 2005F, interest memory point, yeah, fair enough. NVD additions to be the same, yet also better NVD right now. Just like the A10 and the others, some like gears and stuff changing. Okay, custom loadout drop separately, all the F-4's. Of course, here we will see the same difference becoming between the drop tanks and stuff as well for all the SU-17s and 22s, SU-25s. All of these additions are just for that. Okay, so don't worry. This is an interesting one. SU-25T added radar pod to the model, but it's not functional. So I don't know if they're going to add the Kopyo radar for it. It would not make a lot of sense, but I mean, it would basically become a TM. So I don't know. So if they're going to do that, at least change the name for TM. It would make more sense. So I don't know if what they're doing. And the other changes, I mean, it's just the normal changes for the radar with drop tank and other stuff like this, right? Tornado GR1, PGMs added, pretty cool. Custom loadouts obviously added with that, and some, of course, all the options added to adding the PGMs missiles. YRA changes to the flight model. A109 changes to the MVDs, and some other minor changes like the interest memory over here. I think this is to basically use with CCRP or guided bombs and stuff. Maximum number of simultaneously guided missiles now limited to 1. So all of these aircraft can only fire 1 missile at a time to guide. Same changes to all of these aircraft as you see. New basically MVDs, thermals actually for this. New MVDs for these. They're just increasing the overall resolutions of the thermals and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. A lot of these, see. Changing the K-52 and the Mi-28 and M have now the 9M127-1, which is a special variant for helicopters of this missile. I don't know what changes exactly, but I don't think it's probably the same missile. It's just a naming thing for helicopters. I don't know, something like that. But I didn't find anything confirming that it was different. Another changes to NVDs for helicopters, another changes for NVDs over here, custom loadout changes to the Mi-24s, and also the interest memory that we talked about it. It's probably just the locking button that you can use to lock a point in the ground. Custom loadouts, thermals changing on the Mi-35. No longer has a point of interest designator, no longer has a point in, yeah, nothing too crazy. The new sensor changes. So yeah, new radar type 1492. For now, it's a copy-paste of the Type 70, the 1473 that was before the J8F. So hopefully they fix it. But yeah, this is going to be a very good radar. Unfortunately, no radar missiles yet, but still. And then the Kopyo 25, the radar that was added to the SU-25 or the SU-39, I mean. So yeah, ground mode antenna angle of half sensitivity, 2 degrees, now at 0.5. I don't know exactly what this means. I will try to see it if I can feel the difference. Elevation limits of all pennards, so changes a little bit on the elevation limits. Vertical lock, as you see, changing over here. You need to, the search zone, it's just overall different search zones and stuff. Ground search, this is interesting. Maximum Doppler speed, it's now 2.5 meters per second. So now it will be a little bit easier to actually detect targets. And we will take a look on that. And to track is even better, right? So yeah, let's take a quick look. I plan to do a proper video tomorrow, but still. We are here. Let's, where is my beloved? Let's take the, no, I don't want this much stuff. Let's just get the radar. I just want the radar. So let's test this radar real quick, just to see if we can actually see any differences. But as I said, tomorrow I will be doing a proper video talking about it. So, yeah, as you see, the modes are basically the same. This is the ground mode. Hopefully they add a naming thing there for us to actually know that it's the ground mode. But I know because it's HDM and it doesn't have kind of a blind spot near you. So as you see, for example, oh, sorry. Here, for example, look, it has a blind area until like 9 kilometers. But this one, it doesn't. And that's why you know it's the ground version. Let's see if we can actually detect anything that's stationary. So nope. Nothing. It needs to be moving even if it's not that much. Let's take a look on those targets that are moving over there. You should be able to detect those. But everything else is pretty much the same, right? Doesn't change anything else. Yeah, see? Now it's properly working. And now you can lock it. Yeah. Here it's kind of weird, of course, but yeah, it's working, right? So yeah, very, very cool. Hopefully the radar is introduced. This type of radar is introduced for more tanks, more aircraft, because there is a lot of aircraft, not in the game maybe. I mean, there are some in the game that could use it, including all the Tornado IDSs, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The AJ-37s as well. But also in the future, when they add more aircraft, like the Su-24, the glorious F-111. So yeah, as you see, very, very good, man. Very interesting. But I will do a video tomorrow on it, okay, guys? So don't worry. But anyway, this was it, guys, for the Datamines for today. Tomorrow I will be covering everything else if something interesting comes up. But we already can see that everything is being worked on. A lot of things have been added. Hopefully when this server goes live, we see more of the drop tanks for more aircraft. As you saw, the F-4's are getting it. The F-14 is probably getting it. So that will be very, very cool nonetheless, right? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. So, bye guys. See ya.